Massive shout out and thank you to my boys over at SSX. So many of them spent a ton of time sharing their knowledge, their expertise, and their experience in these modes, and also helped me come up with the formula in order to rank these champions. Specific thank you and shout out to Bitterstill, Campo, DLL, Gara, Na, Odysseus, Outline, Royu, Shibi, Simula, The Strands, Zahid, Matt Duhill, and of course my boy, Egatron. All right, let's get to those rankings. All right, it's time for the final top 10. These are the top 10 champions in MCoC. It's actually going to be 13 because we had a couple ties or a few ties along the way. But these champions are incredibly powerful. And by now, I know you've got to know. The best possible score is a 38. The 3 of 3 was the highest you could get out of ease of use. Baron Vega, you know that guy. He just likes to have a good time. All right, let's go with Titania. We talked at length in all of the various videos here, particularly in the class videos, about what makes them strong, how we come out with the scores and that sort of thing. So what I've been doing for these just pure top 10 in the game, we're just going to do like what I think of them in the meta, where I think they're headed and that sort of thing. And we're going to keep with that theme. She's incredibly strong. You know, when she came into the game, I said unstoppable, unblockable, and indestructible passively at a point in the fight. We're going to find uses for her. Well, lo and behold, we continue to find them. In fact, it was surprising to me that she didn't come out as the best science champion in the class, but it made sense when I looked at the scores. I don't think she's slowing down in any way, shape, or form because, oh yeah, she's also buff immune, which is one of the strongest abilities in the game. I remember when that came into the game and I was like, why would you want to be buff immune? Well, here we are. And it's very clear why you would. I do not think she's falling off. I think due to power creep, potentially she falls into the back half of the top 20, but being in the top 20 of the game with the 250,000, that'd be a lot. 250 champions is like pretty darn good. Reason I took her to rank 2 and would definitely consider her as a rank 3 option, even unawakened as a 7-star. Okay, let's move on to who else she's tied with in this top 10. None other than Tigra. The only thing holding her back from being even higher up here as you look at this is long form. She's not amazing in it, but this ease of use. If she was easier to use, then her score would be elevated. So if you want to go out and really learn how to use her, you can understand why people like FinTech and things like that are doing all these phenomenal things and people just auto ban, right? Tigra players, as I said, like when a new tough defender comes out into the game, they're just like, okay, can I use Tigra? And they often are figuring out a way to do it. She's phenomenal. She's great. She's amazing. I do not expect her to be out as a 7-star anytime soon. So if you're willing to put in that time to know how to use her, she is a fantastic ascension option, much like Nick Fury. I don't think she's falling out of the meta. I think what's going to eventually happen with her, and this is going to take time, is because she won't be out as a 7-star, she'll fall out. But it's going to be like what happened with Magic and Quake. It's going to take time, right? Ascension is very strong. So a lot of it's going to be due to how quickly we see 7-star rank 3s and really how many of them there are. Because think about it, right? In Battlegrounds, you have a deck of 30. So even if people have like 5, 6, 7, 8 by June of next year, that still means that they have 20 to 23 non-rank 3s. And if you've got your Ascended Tigra, I think you're still using her in Battleground and War and all the various things. I don't expect her to fall out anytime soon. Continuing on the tie at number 10 is Shuri. I have no expectations of her falling down except for one thing, and that could be if we change the long form. You know, with ease of use, when it was a 1-2-5, it was creating some odd results or some unusual results where like, that doesn't really make sense. If Necropolis starts to die down, which it will eventually at some point over the course of 2024. They did a nice job though of adding that mastery point, so people are still going to want to go in. It's still worth their while, but that's only one run through. Now, I feel like it was hinted at pretty strongly that we might see some like EOP or some like more moderate, let's call it moderate Everest content come in. And I think it'd be really hard to slow down Shuri. There's a reason she was my #1 prediction for an MVP in Necropolis, and she definitely is. For me, it's her, Kate Bishop, and Wong. Those are the MVPs, absolute MVPs. I don't see her slowing down, except for, like I said, potentially her score goes down if long form becomes less of a thing and we make that a best out of 3. So then you take 1 point away from her because she would probably still be a 3 on a 1 to 3 scale. She has too much utility and her damage can get going too well. She has just too much utility with the ability actually can't be reduced. She has the power. She has the crits if you need them. She has the non-crits if you don't need them. She's a nice defender. I just don't see it happening anytime soon. I think she's well established within the top 20, at least through 2024. It's kind of a similar story to Shuri and what we're seeing when you compare it to the bottom half of the top 20. The bottom half of the top 20 had some more champions that were just like extremely dominant somewhere, or they were like broken. And so as a result, they've been in the game longer, and as a result, the game hasn't moved by, but more is being asked, right? Or I think like in the case of Nimrod, the game team is very much saying like, okay, we need to create nodes to stop what this guy does. It is so brute force strong in this one place, where you've got now like a Shuri or Phantom Man that's just broadly strong. They're very well designed, right? A lot of thought. The designers knocked out of the park with these guys. And so they're very, very strong. So like if you shut off one part, you're not like destroying the champion. And so as a result, I think they're going to have long legs. They're also new. So it's not like unusual to think, oh, they should still be strong through the course of 2024. If they weren't, I think that'd be a problem. So as a result, I feel very confident saying, I don't think future Ant-Man's going anywhere. Now, I could see another powerful tech champion coming out, and tech's kind of that way as well, too, where it's a little bit like, what do you want? What do you like? Because I could see a person not liking both future Ant-Man and Shuri is kind of in essence what I'm going with for that. I don't see him falling out. He's going to be for sure one of my ascension candidates. I'm very excited about ascending him because I enjoy using him, and I do think he's that powerful, and I think he will be that powerful for as long as 6 stars maintain their relevance. And as we've talked about already in this video, I think that's going to be a while. Okay, now this is really interesting because I think in many ways for me, this represents the end of that like old guard. That like they just do this thing and they are just blunt force powerful. There's nothing you can do. If it's a mystic and there's energy damage, he's going to destroy it. And he was just so incredibly good at it. I think if you want to ascend him, I think go for it, because I just don't see that happening as a 7-star. You don't even need him awakened. He feels like almost a mistake in a laboratory that got out. And it's kind of a testament to how powerful he was and how much he just dominated a whole class and a whole damage source, that he's still in the top 10 here, because it's not like there's these amazing, he does have some utility, but it's just more his blunt force power that's made him good in Battlegrounds, and Battlegrounds came out, which made him even more valuable. I do think over time he's going to fall off, but a lot of it, unfortunately, and I say unfortunately because I just don't enjoy him. I don't enjoy playing him. I don't particularly like him. But I know people do, and so I'm not here to yuck your yum. I think he's going to be one of those 6 stars that holds on until 6 stars are basically dead as far as the meta is concerned, and 7 stars are just that dominant and that prevalent as far as rank 3s and possibly even rank 4s, because ascended 6 stars are very, very strong. Okay, we actually moved into the number 4 rankings there with Human Torch, and I didn't call that out, so I want to call it out. Yay, Human Torch, you did it. So now, Absorbing Man, he's not falling off anytime soon. I think, again, the only reason why he may fall off is if he doesn't come out as a 7-star. I don't think he's broken. So I'm not so sure. This is one where I'm just not, this is pure prognostication, right? Because I think this is probably going to come up to like the people who are doing the quests and the defenders and those sorts of things and the champion designers. They know, if he's someone that's going to come out as 7-star thing, but I don't think he's broken. This isn't like a Nick Fury or a Human Torch or Hercules. Or even Nimrod in a way. We've talked about how Nimrod's kind of flirting with that term, right? Is he OP or is he broken? I think Absorbing is OP, and for those of you who don't know, I think OP is a good thing. I think the game should have champions like that. They're fun to play. The cool thing with Absorbing Man is he has a high skill ask. In order to make him OP, you got to play him really, really, really well. There's a few nodes or a few defenders like a Terrax where he just automates it and destroys it, but more often than not, there's not that much of it in the game. He's great. He's phenomenal. I love him. He's one of the champions I ascended. I am very, very happy with that. And I don't think he's coming as a 7-star anytime soon. So I think he's a perfect ascension candidate. I don't think he's going to be falling on the meta anytime soon. It very much fits that model. What I'm saying is like, this is a champion who will fall out because 6 stars have become just unable to keep up with 7 stars. That is not on the radar, at least not for me. I'm still very excited about ranking 6 stars to rank 5 and ascending them. Over the course of 2024, we'll find out more, but I really think when we're doing this in December of next year, he's still going to be in that top 20. Okay, now I know some of you are going to be like, hey, I thought Human Torch was the end of the old guard. And for me, and the way I framed it, and you can go back and look at it, he was. Because I think Doom is a little bit different. Doom is blunt force powerful, don't get me wrong. And some of his stats, like the crit resistance and things like that, they're oddly strong. So he is blunt force powerful, but I think there's also really cool design elements in him. And he does have a skill ask in order to achieve some of these super high things that we've seen. You got to know how to do the Doom cycle. You need to know how to adjust it based on what sort of Mystic Dispersion you're running, how many buffs the champion may or may not have had the defender. There's node sets that can come in and kind of mess with you a little bit. I'm not saying he's not OP, and I do think he's broken in some ways. But I think Doom's also a really, really cool, intricate design, right? This was a Broccoli one, and I think this is one of Broccoli's best. I really do enjoy Doom. I think he's one of those champions, too, because of his stats. He'll probably hold on as a 6-star a little bit longer than some of your other 6-stars. Maybe not quite as long as like Hercules, but I think Hercules will be doing that because of his immortality and some other stuff. I really like Doom. I don't classify him the same way exactly as I do with Human Torch. I think he's going to hold on for quite a while. I do think he is deserving of having the ranking as being the best Mystic champion up there with Absorbent Man. They're very different though. And so as a result, I think he's going to be staying there. I really do feel confidently that definitely in June of next year. And I really think even in December of 2024, even if there are a lot of rank these 7-stars and Doom's not one of them, I still think we're seeing him here. I really do. All right, let's go and move on to one of the other champions that's ranked and tied at the 4th spot. All right, my boy Teddy. I love him. There's no way he's falling out. There isn't. This is again another champion as a 6-star. We don't see him as a 7-star. If he came as a 7-star, I would be very excited. I think it's going to be a bit because I think he's powered. I do think we will see him though. This is more similar to me to Absorbing Man. This is not a broken champion. This is an OP powerful champion. He does have the skill so you got to know how to use him. And he can't do everything, but he's got that nice power gain. He's exceptionally well designed. Yes, I said it. He is. I really do love him. I said that because I hope the designer's watching. I don't know if he watches these videos, but I hope he is. And I love Hulkling. I loved him the day I got to test him on CCP, and I've loved him every day since. I do not think he's falling out of the meta. I think even as 7-stars, again, continue to take over, I think Hulkling's going to stay on this list. And like I've said, for the rest of these champions, you can kind of continue this on for all of them now, I think he's going to be very relevant for a very long time. And it won't be until 7-stars have just completely killed off 6-stars. Moving on, we've got Kitty Pryde. There's her and one more champion tied up for this 4th spot. You can kind of take everything I just said and really apply it to Kitty. Now, the interesting thing for me here, though, with her, is I do think she's a bit broken with her synergies. And so I think that's going to create a problem. But her synergy partners that make her broken are Tigra and Ghost, and they are not available 7th, and I don't think they will be. So I really think there's a chance we see a 7-star Kitty Pryde way before we see a Doom, a Fury, a Tigra, or a Ghost. We may never see those champions. I think there's a chance we see Kitty because those synergies won't come. Now, off the top of my head, I can't remember if those synergies come with other champions, but even if they do, they're not going to come with champions that are nearly as strong. Like that was part of the problem, was how strong that team was. She's good in long form and all that stuff. So I don't think we're going to see her fall off. I really don't, at least not over the course of 2024. Now, the reason we might is because Mutant is, please come out and make some mutants. You did a great job with Onslaught. My concern is that Onslaught's so strong, they're like, we're good with mutants. Let's go to 2026. So please, come on, don't do that. I'm begging you. I'm asking you, as a player of this game, do not do that. Give us some more mutants. Come on, and make them strong. Let us have some fun with them. So I think Kitty Pryde's going to hold on just fine, and I'm really curious to see if now, out of these groups that are on that, are they broken or are they OP? I think she might be one of the first ones to come out. Again, because like I said, it's really her synergy partners. Her on her own, this is why you don't see her in every Battlegrounds Zacker and all the time in Battlegrounds, is you got to play her exceptionally well. She has a very high skill ask. So we'll see. We'll see. I don't expect her to fall off until 7-stars have completely squashed 6-stars, like completely. All right, let's move on to the last champion tied at that number 4 spot. Oh, it was pretty funny to see that, knowing the Onslaught was coming next. He's so good. And here's the interesting thing about this. As I look at this top 10, only 2 champions are available at 7-stars, and he's one of them. He's also a Prestige King, but he backs it up. This is not Silver Surfer, who I know is good. Everyone who just went to go to their keyboard and was like, I cannot believe he said Silver Surfer was terrible. I am offended. Onslaught is very, very good. He has the skills and the power to back up also being the Prestige King. I love this champion. I went on and I've done Onslaught videos, so all I was going to say is I could see him actually moving up. If you've seen the other top tier, if you've seen the top 10 for 2023 and the top 10 mutants, you know why I feel that way. So much of it just going to come down to me is, what is Rebalance going to do? If the Rebalance team was like, no, he's good, he's doing exactly what he was supposed to do, I think the sky is the limit for this fella. And I'm so glad I have him as a 6-star Ascended. Really wish I had gotten that 7, but it is what it is. All right, let's move on to the number 3 best champion, all by themselves. I mean, what else can you say? Like, this guy has incredible, insane damage. He has multiple sources of doing damage, and he has multiple sources of immunities, and you get to pick them. Like, if you don't pick one at the beginning of the lane, you get to pick them for each fight. So if you need poison immunity one fight, cool. If you need shock immunity for another one, great. If you need rupture immunity, which is insanely rare in this game, he's also got that. He also can do those damage sources based on if the defender has energy resistance or physical resistance, or maybe they're not immune to poison. He can help you handle healing. If you bring along his synergy partners of Toad and Venom, he gets a refreshable slow. A refreshable slow. Danny Moonstar. Yeah, it stings. It stings. Danny Moonstar's got one, but it's not long enough to actually help you use it. And it can't be refreshed. Unless you throw the special one. Scorpion just does it with a heavy. He also has a Fury helping escalate his already immense damage with Venom. His synergy partners are Venom and Toad, who were also in the top 10 of their own class. I mean, it's just really wild, right? When it's like, hey, this guy came out, and then later they're like, oh, something's too strong. You're like, you're aware that you put this champion out this year, right? And then you added these synergies too. So that's Scorpion. Because of all of that, I really doubt we see a 7-star anytime soon. He's a great Ascension candidate. He, in his class, as dominant and as amazing and as varied as science is, he's the king of the science class, and there's a good reason for it. All right, let's move on to Kate Bishop. Oh, I just gave away who the number one. Let's move on to the 2 number 1 champions. All right, we've got Kate, right? I think everyone agrees now. Like, I no longer have to say, like, I've been telling you, which I have a very long time. Go back to my channel, you'll see it's been a very long time where I'm like, a new best skill champion, pretty sure. And then I was like, hey, I'm pretty sure she's going to be good in Battlegrounds. Here's some of my proof. And then I was like, hey, you know what? She's going to be amazing in long form. I bet you she's good in Necropolis. Any champion that can do that much damage off of a passive, off of their SP1, you got to take seriously. And that's just like one part of her kit. And that passive is very rare. It's not as rare as Rupture, but it is rare. And again, it's passive. And the class that shrugs is her own class. So yeah, like, of course she was going to be good. Oh, and that passive, which is Cold Snap, also means she handles evade, which was my big prediction for 2024, is at least the one I'm the most sure on, is that we will continue to see the rise of evade being a problem. It's made a comeback in 2023 with all the Spider-Verse champions. You got to go back a while. It used to be a massive, massive thing. So this damage source is off the SP1. It can stack. It's tremendous amount of damage, and it also has the utility of handling evade. And she's designed really well. She does have a high skill ask. I don't see her falling off. She was, I think, my first Ascended champion. I was really happy with that. And then Necropolis came out, and I've said this in all of the various videos. It feels like they built Necropolis for her, right? That they were like, let's see, what does Kate Bishop do? Oh, she needs to punish specials. Okay, let's root champions halfway through the fight, so that way they're really close to the defender and they can punish the special. And you're like, yeah, that's great. And they're like, okay, let's put debuffs that cause problems, but let's not make them too strong. Like, let's give her time to get a couple of her tranquilizers up. They're like, sure, sounds wonderful. So just like Grandmaster's Gauntlet was actually Apocalypse's playground, Necropolis is really Kate's funhouse. And I have just thoroughly enjoyed it. She is incredibly well designed. She does have a high skill ask. You have to be skilled to get all that stuff done. And then you can just go and have a real fun time in Necropolis. And that's not even mentioning her power in Battlegrounds and War, which I've also shown. She's phenomenal. She's amazing. She has a high skill ask. If you can learn it, you're going to be richly rewarded and you're going to have a very, very good time. She is not falling off until 7 stars have completely squashed 6 stars. Oh, and just as a reminder, I was advocating as best as I could to have her be our 7-star skill champion. I love Shang-Chi. I love him. Can't hold a candle to Kate Bishop. We could have had Kate, everybody. We could have had Kate. All right, let's cheer on. And of course, our number 1. I mean, really? Is anyone surprised? Is anyone shocked? I think the only surprise is he has the same sword as Kate. And we talked about this at length in the Cosmic video. He's just a hair slow for Battlegrounds, just a hair, right? And he's a good defender. So if you want to put him as a 10, there you go. And you got it. The scoring system only could go up to a 10 in War and Battlegrounds in general. But the fact of the matter is like, if we were allowed extra credit, he's probably like a 15 in general. In War, he's probably like a 12. In ease of use, he's probably more like an 8, even though the scale is only at a 3. He just breaks the scoring system. He's one of those things where, the old school gyms used to have scoreboards that only went up to 99. Some of you are like, why would they ever do that? Well, back in my day, people didn't score as many points. They changed the rules so that people could score more, and it was more entertaining. So it's kind of like that when there was a blowout in an old gym where the scoreboard only went to 99 and the team reached it. The really talented team from across town would come in and kick your team's butt and they'd have over 100 points, but the scoreboard couldn't handle it. Okay, I'm not quite that old, but I saw Hoosiers and they had scoreboards like that. That's Hercules. That's Hercules. He's amazing. He's incredible. We know we're never getting him as a 7-star. Let's enjoy him now. Rank up your Herculeses. Have fun. Embrace the OPness that is Hercules. I know a lot of you just did a chuckle, but it is a word. Thank you so much for watching. I fully loved doing this. This was a ton of work to make these graphics. I did the thank yous at the beginning of every video for everyone that pitched in. All those guys with SSX or associated with SSX. I appreciate the heck out of them sharing their knowledge, going through, because I think for a lot of them, they're like, yeah, it'll be fun. We'll have some fun. We'll tell Vega who we think and where. And then we got into it and they're like, oh my God, he takes this very seriously. And we now need to go through and look at his scoring system. And does that make sense? And how do we analyze that in each category and how many? So guys, massive thank you to all of you for being part of that. Thank you to everyone who's watched and all the comments. I know people have really enjoyed it. I've enjoyed putting this together. And I don't know if we'll do this extent for when we do this in June. I don't know if I'm going to make a graphic for everybody. But for December, at the end of the year, I know people are home and hopefully have a little bit more time to watch some videos and things like that. So as long as everyone's enjoying this and having a good time, and I'll see how it goes, because I've made all the videos before even a single one goes out. We'll do it again. I had an absolute blast doing this, and it really helped me fine-tune my thoughts and check some of my biases. Some of them were right, and some of them weren't as we looked at this. So as usual, because we've done this for 2 years now, you probably will see a massive change to the tier list. Now, you're not going to see a champion out of nowhere be the best, but you will see some progress, and I think some positive change in the general tier list that we do every year. We've been doing it for over 3 years now. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think we got right. Let me know what you think we got wrong. Let me know if you enjoyed this. Let me know if you didn't, because it did take a lot of time. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having a wonderful holiday season with your family, end of the year here, and take care, everybody. Bye-bye.